particular picture, a poster we ordered from America around Paul Robeson, and we did it in 2008 as part of our Liverpool European Capital of Culture. We were looking to do an event that had connections with Liverpool for Black History Month, and one of the things we found was that actually Paul Robeson had performed in Liverpool in Lime Street to an open air concert, and we looked at it and looked at the life of Paul Robeson and found out what a fascinating guy he was. I mean, it was a really extraordinary life he had. He was a gifted actor and singer and a renowned sports person in his own right. He was an academic and a linguist. But most importantly, he was very supportive of trade unions, and he had a real social conscience about him. So what we wanted to do was put together something that we could take to school pupils in Black History Month and talk about somebody who was, certainly hadn't made mistakes throughout his life, but actually made a real contribution and understood what trade unions were about. So that's what we did, and we ordered this print, as I say, from America, because it depicts quite clearly all the elements that I've just spoken about. And really, we felt that it gave a good example of how people can really make a difference to one another's lives. In terms of his life, he was a social activist. He did lots of work for trade unions. He's particularly akin to the Welsh miners. He did a number of concerts for them and supported them. As I say, he sang in Liverpool. He was also a member of the Communist Party. He did a lot, certainly around the Spanish Civil War. He was, had to appear at the McCarthy trials, and he was pilloried there. He had his passport removed. He was stopped travelling from America and what have you. There's a famous concert that he did. He wasn't allowed to travel, but he wanted to do a concert for Canadian trade unionists. So he actually got people to drive him to the border and then sang across the border. So all the audience were in Canada as he sang across the border. The really remarkable thing about that is that during this time was all around the civil rights movement and what have you. There was a very real threat that he was going to be targeted, and certainly at that concert the police had helicopters circling and what have you, and there was a real fear that he would be assassinated. There were lots of racists wanting to get at him and stop the concert going ahead, and there's a famous quote from the trade unionists about them circling round Paul Robeson, linking arms with one another to stop the racists attacking him and dispersing the crowd. The play that we actually put on goes into much more detail, and I'd urge anyone to go and see the play. It's called Call Mr Robeson, and it's done by a local Liverpool actor called Teo Aluka, and you'll see it in a number of states in America. It's performed up and down this country. If you ever get a chance to see it, go and see it, find out more about the guy, find out more about his commitment and to social justice, really, because it's what every trade union should be doing at a greater or lesser degree.